Welcome to sequence lesson number 2. You are in the right spot if on your tracker you have checked off sequence lesson number 1. You are ready to begin sequence lesson number 2. Okay, let's read our notes first. Identifying sequence. Review what you have learned about sequence. Remember that sequence means think about what it means, and I'm going to write it in, and then I'm going to let you copy. Go ahead and push pause once the definition is available so you can write it down. Hopefully you remembered that sequence means putting things in the order in which they happen. So you should make sure you have that definition written down. To figure out sequence, look for clue words. Let's go ahead and write that in. Such as first, then, once, before, after, when, next, and finally. Look for times, days, and dates, such as 4 days, now, and in 1890. Those are all ways to figure out the sequence of a story. Read the following passage. As you read, think about the order in which things happen. Underline the clue words to help you put events in order. Let's go ahead and read the passage and underline as we go. In the rainforest of New Guinea, kangaroos live in trees. Scientists study them, but it is not easy. First, there's our first clue word is first. I'm going to go ahead and underline that. The scientists use a small plane just to get to the area. Then, that lets me know another event is happening. I'm going to underline then. Then they hike for 2 days. All right, I see a day, so I'm going to underline 2 days, to get to the kangaroo's home. When a tree kangaroo is spotted, someone climbs the tree it is on and coaxes it to jump down. Then, here's another clue word. Let's underline that. Oh, you know what? I missed one from the first sentence. Let's go back and underline when, okay? Then it is captured and weighed. Next, another clue word. Let's underline it. A veterinarian examines it. Finally, here's another clue word of sequence. A collar with a small camera is put on it. The little kangaroo is released. For the next few days, all right, so I see a bunch of clue words. The next is one, and few days is another clue. The camera records what it does. The scientists can now see, I'm going to underline now, that's a time, how it lives even though it is hidden in the forest trees. All right, let's use the graphic organizer to identify sequence. It says list the events in order. First, let's look for our clue word first. Let's look back up here, and I see it right here. It says, first, the scientists use a small plane just to get to the area. All right, it says, someone climbs a tree and coaxes the kangaroo to jump down. Okay, so they're talking about a different first. So it's not when they go there. Let's see when that happens. Someone climbs a tree and coaxes it down. So that is in the second paragraph. So the first thing they do when the kangaroo is spotted is someone climbs a tree and coaxes it down. Then what happens? They capture and weigh and examine the kangaroo. Let's look for that. It says, then it is captured and weighed. Then it says, last, what happens next after it's captured and weighed? It says, a veterinarian examines it. Finally, a collar with a small camera is put on it. So, that's why, because they combine these two, captured, weighed, and examined. Okay, so I'm glad I noticed that clue word finally to let me know that that's what was going to be last, because finally does mean last. So it says, finally, a collar with a small camera is put on it. Let's go ahead and write that in our graphic organizer. A camera with, I'm going to cross that out. A collar with a small camera his put on it. All right. So first, someone climbs the tree and coaxes the kangaroo to jump down. Next, they capture Wang and examine the kangaroo. Last, a collar with a small camera is put on it. Okay, once you complete those notes, you're ready to turn the page over and use what you learned. Let's look at the directions for using what we learned. It says, read the passage, then answer the questions by using sequence. On a separate sheet of paper, make a graphic organizer to organize your thoughts. Okay, we're going to skip that part. If you want to use a graphic organizer, you can make it down here, or you can make it on the bottom of the first page underneath their graphic organizer, so you'll know how to create one. All right, let's go ahead and read the story, and then we're going to answer the questions. Nikki's family loved to help out at the Earth Festival. Each year, she and her family picked up their tent and sleeping bags and headed to the camp. All of the artists, musicians, and festival workers stayed there. Before opening day, everyone helped get ready for the festival. They set up fences, booths, and exhibits. During the festival, Nikki worked in the information booth while her father taught people how to cook garden vegetables. Her mother led people on hikes along nature trails. When they were not working, Nikki and the others joined in the fun. They tasted healthy foods. They went to the art exhibits and puppet shows. This year, Nikki even learned to make pottery. When the festival ended, the workers disassembled the fences and booths and helped clean up the festival site. Nikki and her parents were exhausted when they got home, but they planned to go again next year. Okay, so I saw a lot of sequence clue words. Let's go ahead and answer the first question. What did Nikki and her parents do to help at the festival before it opened? Okay, so we're going to look in the text for what happened before the festival opened. Okay, so I see this clue word. It says during the festival. So I know that means the festival already started in this paragraph. So I want to look in this paragraph. So I'm going to see if I can see it's where it says before. I'm going to look for that clue word. And I see it right here. It says, before opening day, everyone helped get ready for the festival. They set up fences, booths, and exhibits. So this is how they helped before the festival. So please write that answer in a complete sentence on the line underneath number 1. Go ahead and hit pause and do that before moving on to number 2. Okay, number 2. What are 2 things that Nikki did once the festival started? Okay, so we're looking for after the festival started. So I remember that I see a clue word up here that says during the festival. Okay, so this first paragraph is before, this paragraph is during. Our question 2 is, what did they do? What did Nikki do once the festival started? During the festival, Nikki worked, here's the next event, worked in the information booth while her father taught people how to cook vegetables. Well, the question asks us for 2 things, so I know I'm not done. I need to find another thing that she did. Her mother led people on hikes along nature trails. When they were not working, Nikki, here's Nikki because I'm looking for her. What did she do? What's another event she did? And the others joined in the fun. Okay, so she joined in the fun. And then it tells us what she did. They tasted healthy foods. They went to the art exhibits and puppet shows. This year, Nikki even learned to make poetry. So all of these things are things that she did during the festival. Okay, so we need to pick 2 things. It says, what are 2 things that Nikki did once the festival started? We're going to pick 2 of those things and write it in a complete sentence under number 2. Go ahead and hit pause and do that now. Okay, number 3. How did workers help when the festival was over? All right, so I know we're looking for a clue word, might be something like after the festival. So I know that this paragraph is before it started. This second one is during. So I'm going to look at the last one. It says, when the festival ended. There's my clue word for sequence. Ended is the same thing as being over. So I know that that's going to be in this paragraph. It says, I'm looking for the next event after the clue word. The workers disassembled the fences and booths and helped clean up the festival site. All right, so I'm going to underline all of this because I know that's the event that happened after my clue sequence word, which is ended. So, how did workers help when the festival was over? We already know that they disassembled the fences and booths and helped clean up the festival site. Please write that in a complete sentence under number 3. Hit pause, and when you're done, hit play again so you know what to do next. Okay, now you should have completed questions 1, 2, and 3 in complete sentences. So you need to come over here and come to sequence. This was lesson number 2. You're going to check off lesson number 2. So I see in my lesson cycle that I'm ready to take the quiz for sequence. That means that I have to go to the folder section, get out the quiz, find the quiz for sequence. Okay, it looks like this. You're going to read and answer the questions on the back. Okay, once you have all your questions answered, you're going to pull open the quiz under sequence on the computer, under boot camp, right? Sequence quiz. You're going to input all of your answers on the quiz section form that you fill out. After you hit submit, it's going to give you the correct answers. Then you're going to grade your quiz and write your score down here. Let's say you got a 5 out of 7. Okay? Then it tells me right here that if I got less than 5, I need to complete lesson 3. Well, I didn't get less than 5. I got exactly 5. That means that I'm going to come over here to sequence, write 5 out of 7, and because I'm ready, I don't have to do lesson 3, I'm going to cross it off. Okay, then I'm ready to pick another topic. I know that Main Ideas is available, so I'll probably do that one next. If I did not score at least a 5 out of 7, if I got less than 5, that means I have to do lesson 3, and you should do that now.